I will show you how to send a rocket in less than 4 hours, so you can enjoy the Space Age DLC even if you are just starting with Factorio. I will cover the whole early game like Burner City, smelters and a mall. Mid-game stuff will include main boss, refinery, construction bots and blue science. To at the end produce late game ingredients to send a rocket and let you enjoy the Gleba experience. However, it's not a mega basic tutorial with in-depth late game stuff. It will just explain you how to get from a crash land to your very first spaceship in a simple way. So without any further ado, let's crash land on Nauvis. So, you just crash landed on Nauvis, and this is our ship, but no worries, we're gonna fix it soon. First thing you want to do is to press Alt. It will show you some extra information. For example, this iron. Yeah, with Alt we can see that we can pick up iron from this broken ship. So we can just do this, or instead of opening the mini and just dragging the iron plates, it's way quicker, just hold Ctrl and left click. This way we'll automatically take the item. We're gonna do the same with the ammunition, and now I want to change the color to blue to have some personality. You can also change color to whatever you like, it will change your appearance. It's especially nice on a multiplayer, but I like blue. The first thing you want to do is to mine some iron. So we started with burner mining drill and stone furnace. We're gonna use it on iron patch, so let's just build it here. And let's put the furnace. Burner drill will take any fuel. We have only wood, so I'm gonna put the wood inside, mine some extra wood, and by holding Z, I will put one wood to furnace and to the mining drill. This way, I don't need to open the stone furnace or anything. I can just take it, and from my inventory, press Z, and it's inside. Very simple. Also, Ctrl left click to take the iron. We can craft more iron gears with Shift left click button. This way we craft whatever we can. So in our case 6. We set up some first automation, but it's already out of coal. This is why we have to mine some rocks. Those are the rocks. You can find them from a map view. They look like this, so there is a lot of rocks. They usually appear on a desert, but you can also find them in forests and other areas. However, we want to find only the coal rocks. So this rock will yield around 20 normal rocks, which is little, and we want more. This is a huge rock. It will also yield more stone and some coal. So let's mine this. And we have extra 40 stone and 34 coal. So we're instantly gonna craft it into stone furnaces with Shift left mouse button. And we want to mine more coal rocks. For a beginner, it might be hard to find out what is a huge rock and what is a normal rock. But no worries, you can just press Alt D to bring the Deconstruction planner. It will be useful later, but for now, you can use it to scan the area. So we can see that all of those rocks are normal small rocks. And this one is a coal rock, because it also yields their coal. So we can also look here. Okay, this is normal rock. This is a huge rock, because we can see. Okay, this is a huge rock, because it increased the coal amount. This is also the huge rock, and that is the normal rock. So we can mark those rocks, so it will be easy to mine those.
Rock, 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 rock.
Okay, rocks are very good in the early game because they supply you with a lot of coal and a lot of stone. We're gonna use all of this stone to make the stone furnaces, so let's craft those on the way. We came back to our iron spot, so we can bring some iron and craft another burner drills. There is a problem. I'm playing with default settings, and this is already annoying to me because when I press Q, it brings me the item. I'm hovering over it, so when I want stone furnace, I can press Q and get it to my hand to expand the burner city. Or I can press Q on a burner mining drill to get the burner mining drill. But if I don't have any drill in my inventory and I press Q, nothing happens. This is why I want to go to settings and let's do some changes. First, let's go to graphics and we're gonna turn off the clouds and fogs, because it's very annoying. In the interface, we're gonna change pick ghost items if no items are available. I'll show you what this is in a second. And we also want to see the combinators and the beacons in the alt mode. It will be useful later. I also want to do some special setting. So when I go back and hold Ctrl, Alt and Shift and click on the settings, we have the rest. This is like a hidden menu setting, and here are experimenting features of Factorio. So I'm gonna type the technology and I will uncheck this box. So now when I go to the game and press T and look at the research tree, the game is still running in the background. By default, the game is paused. With settings done, we can build a burner city. In the beginning, you don't have access to any electricity, and you have to rely on coal. So I'm gonna bring my coal to the toolbar, and by pressing Z, I will feed everything to the machines. Also, when I press Q on the drill, now I will get the ghost, so I can plant the whole base without having the resources for it, which is especially useful in a multiplayer game, because other players can see what you want to build. But for now we are on single player, so let's just build everything. And you might want to count how many drills we have. And there is a simple way of doing it. I can just press Ctrl C, mark the area, and see that we have 16 drills, which is okay for an early game. So let's take the iron and let's craft more drills. I'll just craft them one at a time, because when you craft with right mouse button, it will craft 5 drills, or in our case 2, but it will first craft all of the ingredients and then start crafting the drills. So when you click them one by one, you can use them quicker. So let's build them, let's fill everything, and we have the first research done. In Factorio 2.0, you have research based on the triggers. So in this case, it will trigger after crafting 50 iron plates. It unlocks some of the fuel handling and the electricity, but we'll expand the burner city first before going to the electricity. Iron is the most important resource in the early game. This is why we build this huge factory of iron plates. However, we're gonna run out of coal soon, because it's taking quite a lot of coal to run. So next task we're gonna do is to craft more burner drills and mine some coal. We're gonna build a snake of coal. So each of the drill will fill each other with the coal. So it will take fuel to this spot. We have to kickstart it, and this drill will put coal to this drill, and this drill will put coal to this drill, and everything will be self-fueling. If you want to just withdraw the coal, we can just hold Ctrl and left click. It will take all of the coal from the drills. Since we have a huge amount of the iron drills, we need more of those snakes. So let's just make it longer and let's kickstart it. Now we can just craft more drills and expand the burner factory. Okay, now we have a problem, because we cannot craft another burner mining drill because we don't have enough stone furnaces. Let's see if there are any rocks. Okay, there is a rock, so let's mine it.
Rock.
This rock will allow us to craft 10 more furnaces, which we can then turn into burner mining drills. However, we don't have enough iron, so let's craft only one and get more iron from our burner city. I'm just holding Z and moving my mouse around to feed everything with coal. And I'm holding Ctrl and left click to withdraw the iron. Now we have a lot of iron plates, and we want to make even more drills to mine some stone automatically. We also need a chest and something to fuel the drills. So let's get the coal and set up the drills on stone. I will build this simple setup, so the drills will feed every resource to this chest, and they are slowly mining the stone. We're gonna use the stone to make more stone furnaces and more burner drills. We're gonna start the electricity age soon, so we need a little bit of wood to craft the power poles. It's good to don't destroy all of your trees, because they consume pollution, and if you don't want to have problem with the neighbors, just don't spread too much pollution. In the early game, you are the only assembling machine, so it's good to always craft something. For example, when you have burner mining drills, it takes stone furnaces and iron gear. So when I craft it, it will take some time to make the gears. This is why it's good to handcraft a lot of intermediate ingredients, which you will use later. So let's craft the drills, and with the rest, we're just gonna craft a lot of gear wheels. Let's start mining some copper. Okay, 12. I think 12 is a little bit too much. Let's deconstruct some. Okay, so we have 8 drills mining copper for us. That's great. In the meantime, we can start preparing for electricity. This is why we're gonna craft 1 offshore pump, 1 boiler, and 2 steam engines. We also want to craft some pipes. Let's craft a few more. And we want to craft small electric power poles to bring the electricity to the base. So let's craft a few. And by crafting 10 copper plates, we also unlock some additional technology, especially the lab. We need lab to research new technologies, so let's make one. With lab crafted, we have access to making the science bugs. We're gonna craft a few because we don't have anything else in the crafting queue. So let's make 20, and let's also make some of the electric circuits and some of the gears, and just craft the stuff. Here is our lake. We can start making electricity. We're gonna put the offshore pump to harvest the water, and we're gonna put the first boiler. I wonder what would be the best way to place it. I think this will be the best way. And we want to put the steam engine. and connect everything with electricity. So it's also a good time to fill the toolbar with the stuff we use often. I like to have the small power pole in the first slot, belts in the second, inserters and some other inserters which we don't have unlocked yet, but now I can just press 1 and use the power poles. When you're dragging the power poles, they are built at the maximum distance from each other. So here it's connected. If it would be placed here, it's not connected. And power poles need to be connected to be in the same power network. So this is a nice quality of life feature. You can just press left and hold the power poles to build them. But here is our power production. So I'm gonna build it here and connect everything with pipes. So now when I put coal inside, it's producing steam, and steam then is used in the steam engines to make electricity. We can use this electricity to, for example, build lab, put some science packs inside and start researching the stuff. First thing we're gonna research will be automation, which is unlock the assembling machine, which is a core of Factorio because it allows you to automate stuff. However, this is not the best place for the lab, so I'm gonna deconstruct it and bring it closer to the base. And now it will be easier to use. So let's build the lab, put the science packs inside, but instead of dragging them like this, it's way easier to just hold Ctrl and left click on any empty slot in your inventory. It will put all of the stuff you have inside to the machine which have the slots for it. So since we have only one science pack type, it will put the science pack. But if you would have more science packs, you're gonna put all of the science packs to the lab. So since we are waiting for the lab to craft, we can prepare for the automation. So let's make more gears, let's make some copper cable, and let's fit everything with coal. If you have a lot of coal, instead of pressing Z and putting one coal at the time, you can hold Ctrl and right mouse button to put half of the stack. This way you don't need to feed it so often. And now it's gonna make us a lot of iron before it requires another resupplying. And we have our first technology, which is assembling machine. So I'm gonna craft a few, and instead of handcrafting the stuff, I'm gonna cancel all of that, and I'm just gonna craft the assembling machines. Now I can use those to craft me stuff. Since we are using the gears for basically everything, and we are using copper cables to also everything, I'm gonna set up the crafting for cables and for the gears inside those machines. I'm gonna put both plates to my quick bar, and by holding Ctrl, I'm gonna put it inside. The same for those. And now, when I need more of the iron gears, I can just take them from the assembling machines. Very simple and very good. Also, you can look into the research tree. In Factorio 2.0, we have to research the mining drills. Logistics are very useful because they allow you to split the belts and use the underground. So we're gonna queue this. It's also nice to have some fast inserters, gun turrets, logistic science packs, and steel. I'm gonna put back the science packs and let's build temporary science production. To build temporary science production, I crafted some labs. I'm gonna craft some additional assembling machines, some chests, inserters, and extra power poles. Let's start by looking at the recipe of the automation science pack. I'm gonna click on it with the Alt. It will bring you the Factoriopedia. So we can see it's take copper plate and iron gear wheel. Very simple to craft. So let's start by making 2 assembling machines, making us the iron gear wheel. I will copy one recipe from another by holding Shift and pressing right mouse button to copy it, and shift left mouse button to paste it. Now I'm gonna bring some electricity, and I want some input to those assembling machines. So I'm gonna build 2 inserters and build 2 chests for the iron plates. Now those machines will get a constant supply of the iron plates, but if they're not gonna output them, they will be stuck. So we need to make the output here. Now we'll get those chests full with the iron gears. We want to use those to craft the science packs. So you will craft the science packs, shift right mouse button and shift left mouse button to copy and paste the stuff. Input inserters, and now they are full with the gears. However, they also need the copper plates, so we can put the copper plates to those chests, and the inserters are smart enough to only use the ingredients that are needed for the recipe. Now we are crafting the automation science packs, but we have to use those. So let's make the outputs and use the labs. Bring the electricity, and we just automated the science production as a temporary solution. Now we can also make some more temporary solutions before we will go big. So I want to automate the production of belts because we need a lot of belts. I'm gonna build one assembling machine, hold shift to paste a ghost, and build another assembling machine here. Why I build the ghost? Because the assembling machine is 3 tiles of space. So instead of counting 1, 2, 3 spaces, I can just build 1 assembling machines, and I know there are 3 tiles of space. This will allow me to use this space to craft the belts. At the top we'll craft the gears, and at the bottom we'll craft the belts. Belts require gears and iron. Gears require just iron. So let's put the chests and let's fill everything with resources. So on the left we have iron, and those inserters will put iron to the gear production and to the belts production. It might be complicated, but it's very simple. Since we want to go big straight away, I also built a temporary production of... yeah, it seems like we have problem with electricity. When you look at the graph, the electricity is dead. That's because we run out of coal. While we're grabbing the coal, let's also expand the production of power, because this is more important now. We're gonna make 5 boilers and 10 steam engines. Like expected, we run out of coal, so let's put coal back, and by clicking on the power pole, let's look at the production. So we are using only a little bit... So there is still a buffer for the electricity, so we can still expand the base with the amount of electricity we are producing. But it's not a bad idea to expand, so let's do it. And now we are making way more electricity than we used to. We can also use the ghost planner to design our power production. So by holding shift, I can make a ghost, so then I will know where I will build the stuff. I can also press Ctrl C to copy the stuff and just build it like that, so I will have the understanding how much space it will take. For now, I'm not gonna build it because we are producing way more electricity than we are consuming, but it's good to have like an idea how big it will be. So we can expand it even more, and we'll know that we don't want to build in this area because there will be our power plant. So I want to build a temporary production of green circuits. It will be a similar design. So there will be input for copper, there will be output for copper cables, and there will be input for copper cables. Here we're gonna craft the electric circuits, which also require iron plates. We're gonna use this chest. And we also put some iron here. This way we produce both the copper cables and the green circuits. Let's make the output, and we just automated the production of electric circuits. So in the meantime, we have researched quite a lot of technology, so we can upgrade our temporary designs. Here we can see that we are waiting for the iron gear wheel. To improve it, we have to use faster inserters. So I'm gonna craft a few fast inserters, I'm gonna put those to my toolbar and improve the production. Now we should produce way more transport belts. When I press P, we have the production graph, and we can look for the belts. So we used to produce around 51 belts per minute, and now we are producing 120. So it's more than 2 times increase in the production, just by replacing the inserters for faster one. Let's research something. Radar, repair packs, heavy armor, walls, lamps. No, don't research lamps. And some ammunition damage. We also have enough resources to start building huge. And the first thing we're gonna build is a smelting column. We're gonna open the map, and in the map view, we're gonna design it. So to build a smelting column, we'll need out of stone furnaces with 3 tiles of space between them. So 1 furnace is 2 tiles of space. So 1 tile plus furnace is at 3 tiles of space. And here we can build another line of furnaces. We want to count them to exactly 48, so let's press Ctrl C, and here is 48. So we can remove the rest, and we have the starting column. We want to make the input and the output belt. Now we want to put the inserters as an input and as an output. Now let's put the electricity, and with this tile we can just copy and paste it to fill the whole column. Now we have to fill everything with the stuff. So let's remove those extra belts, and let's make the splitter for the inputs. So we're gonna use the splitter. I also gonna put it to the toolbar. So we want to put the splitter facing up and facing down. And from here we're gonna output the items to the belts. In the inside will be the coal. In the outside will be the iron. So we're gonna use 2 sides of the belt. And this is like the basic tile of the smelting column. I'm just gonna Ctrl X it and paste it to a better place. So for example, here next to a ship, let's paste a few. If there is something on the way and you cannot build it, just hold shift and build it. However, we also want to connect the coal inside. So there will be a belt with the coal, but we want to split it. So we're gonna use the splitter and the underground. So now when we're gonna copy it, all of the smelters will be connected. Now we just have to build it. If you want more information about the smelting column, mining and all of this basic stuff, I have a dedicated tutorial for all of this. So if this is too quick, you can just go watch that video. And we have 1 smelting column ready for iron and another almost ready for the copper. Now we just need to remove our burner city and use the electric miner drills. With burner city taken down, we can start building the electric miner drills. I will start from the coal because we need it for the power production. And now we can see why it's handy to have the design prepared. So I can use this belt as an input. So I know the belt will go here. I will also build a splitter to split the coal for the electricity production and for the smelters. However, I want to put the priority for the power production. So I will always have enough coal for the electricity before using it for the smelters. To automate my power production, I have to put some inserters for the input of coal. So I'm just gonna copy and paste it to know where to build the inserters. And with that, our power production is automated. And here we have the priority splitter, so everything is going to the power production first. This belt will be connected to the smelting column. So now, when this belt will get full, like this, the coal will also go to the left. But for now, we want it into the power production. Since I have a lot of trash in my inventory, I'm gonna put it to those furnaces. Here I'm gonna make the iron, so let's put iron ore to those furnaces. And on the left I'm gonna make copper, so let's put copper to those furnaces. I also have a lot of coal, so let's put coal inside. And now my inventory is clean. Now when I look at the amount of iron I have and amount of belts, I think I might be short on it. But let's see. It seems like I had just enough transport belts to build this connection, which is great. Yeah, for the rest, I'm lacking more belts. And when it comes to drills, it's good to see how many we have. Right now we have 20 drills. That means it's not gonna saturate the whole belt with iron ore. And let me show you what I mean. On the right side of the belt, we have 12 drills mining the ore, which is fine, but it's still not gonna saturate the whole belt. Like you can see, there are the holes, and we want to prevent all of those holes. The one yellow belt can be supplied with 30 drills. Right now we have 20, so there is still 10 drills to fill the whole belt. And now we have 30 drills, and it will be enough for the one belt of iron. However, we need more iron to make the belts. If you want to grab the stuff from the belt, just run over it and hold F. Okay, we have additional 300 belts, so we can also make the production of copper. And with that, we have a full belt of copper. But do we? After looking at it for a while, you can easily spot that half of the belt is full and another half is not, which causing some of the drills to be stuck. Those 7 drills are not working, and to prevent it, we want to make a balancer which will fulfill the whole belt. Okay, now we have problem because we are not consuming this copper and it's hard to show you that. So I'm just gonna build it here and I will explain you how it works on iron. On iron we have the same problem because 18 drills are mining for the left side and 12 drills are mining for the right side, which means those drills will get stuck again. To prevent it, we're gonna build a splitter, connect it here and do something like that. This design will make sure that we are using both sides of the belt. So if we're gonna change it, let me show you it. So now we are using only the right side of the belt. And those iron ores are getting split to 2 sides and they fulfill the belt as much as they can. However, this belt is getting stuck, so this belt is not getting full. This is why we have to just connect normally. And now it will fulfill this belt. We don't need to care about it here, because there is only 12 drills mining for the right side. And if it's less than 15, we are fine. Yeah, all of the drills are green, so that means all of the drills are working. Even so it seems like they do not work, they are green, so they are mining. All of the time they are drilling. Let's make sure, 30 drills, this is the whole saturated belt of iron. And now we can just use it. I'm gonna build a very simple production of basic materials we need. So the very basic stuff is of course the iron gear, the belts production, inserters production, and drills production. And we also want to limit the chest, because we don't want few thousand iron gears in this chest. So I'm just gonna press on this X and we limit the chest to, for example, this. We're gonna copy it with shift right mouse button and shift left mouse button. So now this chest has the same limit. Let's do the same for the rest of the chests. However, we want less drills, so let's limit it to 1 stack, inserters to 3 stacks, and belts to 10 stacks. Now we have a problem, because we are not making inserters and the electric mining drills, because they need the electronic circuits. So next quest is to craft electronic circuits. This is the basic ratio for the green circuits production. So one assembling machine, it's taking 3 green wires per second. This is making 2 per second. That means 1 to 1 ratio like this would be not enough to supply it with the cables. But when we have 3 assembling machines, they are making 6 cables per second, and 2 assembling machines for the green circuits consuming 6 per second. So this is the perfect ratio. If you want to calculate anything else, you can just look at the toolbar and find out the ratio. This of course require copper plates as an input, and this require iron plates. However, the iron plates are far away. This is why we're gonna use the long-headed inserter and fast inserter. Now it has the iron plates, but still missing the copper cables, because we haven't built this smelting column yet. So let's make more inserters and finish the smelting column. I will measure how many inserters we need. 96, and we have 51, so that's definitely not enough. So let's craft more. And now we have enough, so let's build it. It's a good habit to check from time to time if we have enough electricity, and we definitely do have enough. Now we can expand the starting design. So I will start by copying and pasting the green circuits production. Now I can just build it quickly. And those machines are missing the long-handed inserters. So when I build this and this, we just automated the production of inserters and mining drills. Awesome. When I open the map view and zoom in, I can see that there is some problem. I see some stuff, but not everything. To see everything from the map view, I'm gonna craft a few radars. They also be useful to spot the nearby bases, because we might get the biter attack at any moment. On the minimap, you see this blue square. This is the coverage of the radar. That's why I'm gonna place it somewhere in the corner of the base, like here. It of course needs electricity. And now I can zoom it even further away in the area of this radar. I'm gonna build a few more. And now we can see way bigger area. What's more, radars will scan the chunks around, like here, from time to time. Which we need, because at some point we're gonna need some oil, and right now we don't see any oil. So those radars will work hard to expand our view area, and maybe they're gonna find the oil for us. And now we're gonna make the production of the science. Let's start by making more labs and some more assembling machines. So my plan is to craft both the red and green science packs at the same time. So I'm gonna build assembling machine for the green science packs and assembling machine for the automation science packs. And I want to output to the same belt in the middle. However, we have problem because there is not enough space. So we're gonna use our trick to measure the distance of 3 tiles with the empty assembling machine. So this way we always know that there are 3 tiles of space. So it's always good to measure before building. They of course need the input. And let's readjust it a little bit. And now we have a 1 tile of the science production. So let's just copy it and paste it a few times. How many times, you probably wonder. So let's calculate it. One assembling machine requires 5 seconds to craft the automation science pack. That means if we have 5 assembling machines, we're gonna craft 1 science pack per second. And we want to craft 2 science packs per second. This is why we want to have 10 assembling machines for the red science packs. Let's measure that. So here is 10. That means we can get rid of the rest. But what about the green science packs? They require 6 seconds to craft. So we need 12 of the assembling machines, which is 2 more than the red ones. So let's remove those additional ones. Now we can just build everything according to the design. And with the design ready, we have to put the resources for crafting. It will be easier with the green science packs because we're already making the belts and the inserters. This is just too slow, so let's speed it up. Are you fast enough now? No, this is still not enough, or... Okay, it is fast enough, but we can do a different trick. If you don't have fast inserters, you can use the normal ones and do something like this. And thanks to it, it will be fast enough to take out the belts. Okay, I was wrong. It's not fast enough, but it's better than it used to be. So let's just go with the fast inserters. So we want to connect this belt with those resources. We want to have transport belts and inserters. But when we just output them like this, there is a problem, because they are outputting to the same side. And we don't want it, because if we run out of belts for some time, it's gonna produce only the inserters, and it will clog up the whole system. This is why we want to have inserters on one side and belts on another one. We can simply do it with this trick. So now inserters will be only on the bottom belt and belts will be only on the top belt. And the green science should start working. Okay, what about the red science? The red science require copper plates and the iron gear wheels. So let's connect it. We're gonna use the underground here. Let's use the gears from this chest. And we're gonna split this belt of copper to go to our science. But we want to connect this on this belt. How are we gonna do it? Very simply, we're just gonna do this. Now copper is only on the left side and the gears are on the right side. When it comes to the inserters, they always output to the opposite side. So when we build inserter like this, it will output only to the left side, because it's outputting to the opposite side. It's good to know, it's a very nice trick. Now let's see if everything is working. Yes, it seems like we are producing the red science and the green science. Now we just have to connect it with the labs. So we're gonna place labs in a lines, because we can simply chain them. I will show you. So here is the inserter for the input. Here's the inserter for the input. It's inputting the science packs to this lab. And when we put the power pole, it's gonna take the labs from this lab and put it to another one. And we can chain it quite a lot. This way we don't have problem with the input spaghetti, because when you want to input 12 science packs, yeah, it's not easy. But with this trick, it will be a little bit easier. And with this, we are researching the rapid speed of, right now it's only 12-13 science per minute, but it should be 120 per minute at some point, right? Because we are producing 2 science packs per second. I don't know if you have enough labs. Yeah, we might not have enough labs, but that's not a problem because we can always expand it. Also, since we are in the space age, and a lot of research require different science packs. Like for example, to research gleba, you only need those 4 science packs. So it would be nice to buffer the other science packs when you want to, for example, research the processing unit productivity. So it's good to buffer the purple science packs in the meantime. This is why we're gonna make a simple buffer for the science packs. It will go like this. You will sort the science packs by the color, and there will be the chests which will store those. I will set the limit to 2000. Let's copy it and paste it. And I also gonna wire the map to always see how many science we have. If you want to bring the cable, just press Alt G and you can make some circuit stuff with it. But we're not gonna do any circuit logic with it. We just want to count how many we have in the chest. However, there is a problem because this power pole is on the way. So let's put it here and let's output the stuff. And we have a simple buffer for the science packs. Depending on their production, this type of buffer might be a bottleneck, but for the science right now, it's fine. Since we have access to the green science packs, we can research more advanced technology. Like for example, if you want to go for the rocket, we need all of this. So let's start researching. When I hold shift, I can just add to queue next technologies. So let's go with the engines, automation, fluid handling, oil gathering. Let's also research the lab research speed 2, better tool belt. And at some point the lab's gonna research the stuff. So I can see that I kind of struggle with the production of the inserters. We are producing 1 per second and we have 12. Yeah, we have 12 assembling machines. They are consuming 0.08 per second. So now when we do a simple math or like this, we can see that this is around 1. So it's actually fine. This one inserter can supply all of those assembling machines. So it's not a bottleneck. With our science running, with our starting base kind of running, we can start preparing for a main bus. We're gonna go with the main bus to the left side, so we need to chop all of those trees to get access to this terrain, but it will be fine. Okay, before we're gonna do the main bus, let's prepare the nades. With nades, we'll be able to simply clear those trees. So let's build a simple production of the nades. It will be handy to clearing the trees and also to clear some biters. Let's look at the power production. So we're gonna hit the limit soon. This is why we should prepare for expansion. Since we need a lot of pipes for the crafting, I just gonna build the crafting production for the pipes. They will be useful for the refinery and for the expansion of the power plant. Since I'm using the green circuits from the time, it's good to make some kind of buffer for those. So I'm just gonna build one inserter and let's just stockpile few stacks. Since we are waiting for pipes for the expansion of the power production, we can start designing the main bus. I have the whole video about the main bus, which you should watch, but if you don't want, you can just follow this video. So to start, we're gonna design it. So I'm gonna open the Factoriopedia while holding out and press and clicking on the grant. It's gonna open the Factoriopedia. Here, I want to look for the constant combinator. I want to press Q to have it in my hand. Now I can build the ghost of it and set some items. For example, I want to set the iron plates. And now I will see that this line will be meant only for the iron plates. This will be the beginning of our main bus. Let's change the position. I want to have some space for the spaghetti connection. I want to keep this. So it will be something here. Okay, so this will be our main bus. If you never heard about main bus, it's just a lot of belts going from one side to another side, which you can use items from it to craft any materials. We of course want to put different items on the main bus. So for example, here will be the copper, there will be the circuits. We want steel, we want bricks, normal rocks, and also coal. And here will be the refinery stuff, but I want to change it a little bit. So here will be the refinery stuff. I want plastic, I want sulfur, and those belts can stay empty. I will use it for something else later on. And this will be my main bus. It will go to the left side, just like that. It's also one of the reasons why I'm not the biggest fan of the main bus, because it consumes just a lot of space with the belts. But it's very simple, so we're gonna go with it. Now we can hand mine those trees, or we can use our nades, which we should have already. Nades are a very simple way to clear the trees. You can just hold right click, and you are clearing the trees.
Rock.
It might be tempting to kill all of the trees. However, the trees consume pollution, and because of that, we haven't got any biter attack. If this red square will touch any enemy base, we'll get attack. And yeah, it's just simply good to keep some trees to prevent the attacks. Like when we press P and look at the pollution, we see that the trees indeed consume pollution. Also, tiles and damaging trees consume pollution, so more trees equal less attacks. However, we have problem with electricity. When we click on any power pole, we see that we struggle with electricity. Okay, now we do not, because we are not researching, but when we start researching, so now when we are researching and the labs are using the electricity, we are under the satisfaction bar. So we have to expand the production of power. We have a little bit of pipes. So let's craft 10 more boilers and 20 more steam engines. We're also gonna make another offshore pump, and we're gonna connect this line with the water. So now we just have to build it. And thanks to this expansion, we should be satisfied with the production. And we are indeed fine. We cannot go through the pipes, this is why I'm gonna replace those with the undergrounds. Now we can just walk through it with ease. To expand with our main bus, we should start by building a mall. In mall, you can simply grab the most important items like inserters, assemblers, and all of that and start building. For example, we don't have a production of undergrounds, we only have the production of normal belts. And this is not enough for our expansion needs. And we're gonna build our mall here-ish. I'm gonna start by building the belts with the input ingredients. I'm gonna make 30 tiles of space. I think this will be enough. Yeah, this will be enough. And I also gonna make the input belts on the left. And in the middle, we're gonna make the mall. What do we want to have in the mall? Of course, all of the inserters. So the normal inserters, long inserters, and fast inserters. We also want to have belts, undergrounds, and splitters. It would be also nice to have the assembling machine and assembling machine tier 2. And maybe the labs production. Now we just have to connect it with the resources, but with the main bus it will be easy. The problem is the main bus is empty right now, so I'm gonna fulfill it with whatever we have. So here is going the circuits, here we are going with the iron plates, and in this spot we have the copper. This is the beginning of the main bus. Right now it's kind of struggle with the resources, but no worries, we're gonna fix it at some point-ish. So let's build them all. I built with that design because fast inserters and long inserters require normal inserters, so we can just easily fit each other. The same for the undergrounds and for the splitters. Also the lab required the transport belts, so we're gonna need to do some kind of spaghetti here, which is as simple as this. Whenever you build a mall, remember to limit the chest. Just a few stacks. The amount of limit you're gonna put to the chest depends on the amount of items you want to have. So for example, we want to have a lot of belts, but we don't want to have a lot of splitters. So we're gonna go with one stack of splitters. Undergrounds are pretty useful when you are building the main bus, so we want 2 stacks. Belts are fine, and the inserters, let's increase the normal ones a little bit. So with this setup ready, we have to connect the resources. Here will be our belt with iron. This will be the belt with green circuits. Of course, when you are building the main bus, it's good to respect it. So when you have case like this, it's simply good to go with undergrounds. So you want to do something like this. Now, when you connect the splitter, you want to take items directly from the main bus and use it for other crafting. Now we have the green circuits here. We just have to input it with the long-handed inserters, but we also need the iron plates and the iron gears. Here we're gonna make the production of the iron gears and we're gonna put it on this mini bus. Let's see what we require. We need iron gears, circuits, circuit iron, so we need iron, gears and green circuits. So now we just have to connect it. However, it's problematic because this is half belt empty and this is full, this is half empty. So the best way would be to have the gears on the left. However, it's gonna be too much spaghetti, so instead we're gonna do the spaghetti on the right. We're gonna split the resources and bring them here. This way we have half of the belt with iron and half of the belt with the iron gears. Now let's just place the inserters. And our mole is ready. However, we struggle with the production of iron, like we don't have iron at all. That means we have to expand the production of the smelting column. Okay, I expanded iron a little bit. Now we have 93 miners. That means we can supply 3 belts of iron. However, we kind of have to balance the outputs, and for that we're gonna use the belt balancer. To import the blueprints, you have to go to the shortcut menu and you have to use the import string. However, this shortcut requires you to unlock the robotics technology. You have to unlock it only in the first game. So instead, we're gonna use a command. Unlock shortcut bar. It will unlock our shortcut bar. It's not disabling our achievements, so you don't need to worry about it. However, now we have access to more advanced settings. We of course want to go with the import string. Here we can put some strings, and I'm gonna use my string with my blueprints. I'm gonna put this blueprint book to my blueprint library. I'm gonna press B and put it to inside. I also gonna change it to the grid view, and when I right click, I can see what I have inside. I have smelting blueprints from my smelting tutorial, bots blueprint from bots tutorial, and electricity from electricity tutorial. In my smelting tutorial, I'm explaining how the balancers works, so you can just take this book, put it on your toolbar, and when you need to balance some belts, in our case, from 5 belts to 3 belts, because we want to build also extra smelting column, we're gonna open the book and we look for 5 to 3 balancer, which is this one. Now you just build it and it will equally take the items from those 5 belts and output it to those 3 belts. If you don't understand how this blueprint works, no worries, I also have no clue how this spaghetti works, but it just works. And now those 3 belts should be full with iron. So let's put this transport belt directly on a main bus. I also gonna prioritize this splitter to go to our mall first. Let's research something. Let's go with the military science packs and maybe stronger explosives and better bullets. A landfill would be also useful. Now let's see if it's working. Yes, our smelting columns are working. So now with mall kind of working, it's still struggle with the iron. We can expand our base. So here will be the production of the green circuits. Since we have a nice design already built, I'm just gonna copy it and paste it here. I'm gonna flip it with V and let's position it better somewhere here. Since it's a space age, it's good to leave extra space because at some point, instead of crafting the electronic circuits inside the assembling machines, we're gonna go with the electromagnetic plant. And the electromagnetic plant is a little bit bigger, so it's good to have additional space for it. But for now, let's build it. I want to see if I can fit the beacon to this side, so I'm gonna look for the Factoriopedia, beacon, press Q, and let's see. Okay, seems like both assembling machines are in the range, so it will be the later upgrade. Beacon is a machine that you can put the modules inside, like for example the speed module, and affecting machines will just work faster. But first we need to research it, and that's a long story to get it. For now, let's just build it. So with setup built, I just need to connect the belts, but with the main bus, it's a very simple task. I mean, yeah, we have to build the main bus first. So on the inside will go iron, and on the outside will go copper. Now let's see if it's working. And the whole setup seems to indeed work. Now we just have to output the resources on the main bus, and now we are filling the main bus with the green circuits, which we'll be able to use later. So with everything running, the next step is to go for oil. But before we go for oil, we have to prepare steel and bricks. That means we have to build 2 additional smelting columns. Okay, so we want 1 smelting column for iron, another smelting column for steel, and 1 smelting column for the bricks. Or maybe we're gonna make bricks here. Okay, so the bricks will be on the right. Now we just have to build it. We have 2 smelting columns. 1 smelting column will be for iron and second will be for steel. That means this output will loop back to this smelting column to make the steel. Because the ratio of the furnaces we need for steel and iron is 1:1. So 41 furnaces making iron will supply 48 furnaces making steel. And this will be perfect ratio. I just need to connect the belt with iron, and soonish we're gonna make the steel. We also want to make the bricks, so let's change these burner drills into electric ones. And we have 28 miners mining drill. And we have 28 drills mining stone, which is less than a belt. Okay, so let's get also this. Okay, so now we have 35 drills. However, those drills are mining both copper and stone, which is a problem because we don't want to mix those resources. This is why we're gonna use the splitter and we're gonna set a filter. Now copper will go only to the left side and stone will go only to the right side. So this can go here, and with this we have to put it here. However, if this belt is full, there is a problem because this belt is also getting stuck, supplying us with less stone. This is why we have to use the splitter with priority. So there will be the input priority from the right side. This way, this belt should be almost always clear. Now we have to make a balancer, which will be 4:1, which is a very simple one. We just do this. And we have a 1 belt of stone. When it comes to stone, your smelting column can be half the size because you need 2 stones to make 1 brick. That means it can be half the size. So instead of making it 48, we're gonna make it half the size. So here is 24. That means the rest can simply go away. And with bricks running, we want to put those directly on the bus. We want to do the same with the steel and with normal rocks. So let's connect it. To take only the left side, I'm gonna use the underground belt. I'll just build it, change the direction, and it will only take from the left side. I'm gonna do the same for the right side. And now whatever will be left out of smelting, we're gonna use it on the main bus. We have stone, we have bricks, now let's connect steel. You don't have to connect your main bus only from the right side. If you want to connect it from the middle, just use the splitter and the left side will go to the left, right will go to the right. Let's also connect coal to the main bus, and with that our main bus is expanded. However, there is a problem because we are lacking fuel. I have some trash in my inventory, so I can just burn it, but we have to expand the production of coal. So we expanded the coal production from 420 to around 900, and we are consuming around 360. So that expansion should be sufficient for now. Since we're gonna need some more steel later on, I'm gonna make a buffer for it. This way we'll store our overflow steel into the chests. And when we increase our demand for steel, we're just gonna use it. Now, when you look at the research tree, the thing we want to do is the oil processing. Let's look at the map. Do you see any oil on the map? Yes, I do. But if you don't, you can just press here to the search button and type oil. It will highlight you all of the oil fields on the map. So we have one here and one here. We're gonna go for this one because it's closer, but it's still very far away. That means we have to bring a lot of underground pipes, some pump jugs, and overall we have to prepare. So let's put our new resources to the mall because we're gonna use it for crafting. Okay, in Factorio 2.0 there is a problem because we cannot make the production of refineries, chemical plants and all of this before mining the crude oil. That's very annoying, but yeah, we have to deal with it. So for now, we're gonna make the pump jugs, or first we're gonna make the pipes. This design of a mall is something you don't have to follow step by step, just build it according to your needs. Like, I'm building it differently every time. It just makes the game fresh, instead of just pasting the same blueprint every single time. It's boring. Like, what is better than some extra spaghetti? Okay, our expanded mall is working, but we should also start worrying about the enemies. For that reason, we're gonna craft the heavy armor. It requires copper and steel plates, and let's also make some gun turrets. I wanted to craft some engine units, because now we can make the car, and it will be easier to get to the oil with the car. It seems like we have everything for the oil, so it's democracy time. I'm gonna place the car and drive. So the oil is around here. There are some trees. Yeah, I will start by bringing the electricity to the spot. And we are on the oil field. Let's clear the trees. And you can just hover over the crude oil, press Q, and you will get the pump jack in the hand. We have to connect everything with the pipe and with the electricity. Make sure that all of the pumps are connected and they are pumping. Yeah, seems it's fine. I also gonna build radar here to see the area around, and I'm gonna place a few turrets and put some ammo inside. So now, when we produce more pollution and we will trigger this base, we don't have to worry about because we have the turrets here. But with this amount of bullets, we should kill this base. Also, since we mined the first oil, we can progress with the research. So we're gonna research the sulfur processing, batteries, and rush for the robots. So plastic, red circuits, blue science, advanced. Oh, we're not gonna do advanced because we don't have chemical. So what else we can do? To go for the rocket, we need concrete, we need flammables. And yeah, the whole queue is ready. So let's clear the biters. We don't have much ammo, however, we have a lot of nades. And this will be our weapon of choice. Move left to right to dodge the bullets. It's also good to have some fish with you, because you can heal with the fish. I forgot about it, so we don't have any fish. I hope we're not gonna die, but I'm not sure about it. Okay, we killed all of the worms, so we should be fine. Yeah, we are fine. We killed the whole base. That's awesome. So we can go back to make the refinery. Of course, we have to connect it with the pipes to the refinery point. I'm gonna build refinery here, so I need to connect the pipe somewhere like that. So let's go for it. I'm gonna build a pump here, because in Factorio 2.0 you have to build pumps from time to time. Otherwise your network might be too big. When you just hold the mouse button while building, it's gonna build the pipes at the maximum distance. So it's very easy to build. And we got to our refinery terrain. Now let's go a little bit to the right. So here will be our refinery. We're gonna leave some more spot for the smelting column. So there is a perfect spot. Now we have to craft the refineries. We wasn't able to do it before, because we didn't have the research for that, but now we can put it to the mall. Also, we can start crafting the assembling machine tier 2, because we have steel. Now we just have to connect the steel here. Yeah, it's gonna require some spaghetti creativity. Yeah, this should be fine. So we're gonna get assembling machine tier 2. They are simply faster, and also they can craft with fluids, which you cannot do with assemblers tier 1. They just don't have the fluids stuff. And they're crafting with the speed of 0.75, those crafting with 0.5. So let's build the refinery and the chemical plant production. Okay, seems like everything is connected. This is a mall, so the speed of crafting don't need to be very high, because we're gonna visit it from time to time. But since we are waiting for the refinery to get built, we can start making the production of different stuff. So let's get those new assembling machines and let's use those instead of the normal ones, because they are simply better. Because we are waiting for the refinery stuff, we're gonna use the refinery materials before we even start making those. That means we'll work toward making the chemical science packs. It requires sulfur, advanced circuits, and engine units. Let's start by making advanced circuits. Advanced circuit require plastic, copper cable, and electric circuit. So let's see. The assembling machine is creating 3 cables per second. This one is consuming half a copper cable per second. That means one assembling machine making cables can supply 6 assembling machines making red circuits. So we can just copy and paste it 6 times, and I think this is too close to the circuits. So that means this assembling machine will supply those assembling machines. And we can do the same on another side. So this will be a 1 tile, which you can easily expand more and more, because this will be a tileable build. We are running out of space, so let's fix that.
Rock.
Okay, this amount of space should be enough. So let's prepare the belts. This requires copper. Let's think about it. So I want to get input like this. Here will be the belt with copper cables, and this will be the belt with green circuits and plastic. That means this belt can be with copper, because those assembling machines not gonna use it. So this should work like that. Now let's connect some resources. Here will be the belt with the plastic. So let's pretend it's full. And now we have the belt of plastic and belt of green circuits. So let's connect it like this for now. Later we're gonna use the second side, but for now it's a proof of concept. So this is getting cables and circuits. Now it also in the output. And I can just copy it, rotate with V, and paste it here like nothing happened. And I'm not gonna build it on the left side, because bot's gonna build it, and for now it would be a waste of time. I can also copy it and build it here, because it's a tileable design. So you can just copy it even more and paste more and more until your belts will be too slow. But it's a future me problem. Now let's connect the output to the main bus. And we have the production of red circuits ready. I also gonna build a buffer for it, because we're gonna need quite a lot of red circuits. So let's do it like that. Very simple. Also, let's look at the research tree. What can we research now? Bulk inserters. This is a very useful technology, because when we go through it, we'll get access to inserter capacity bonus too. It will make our normal inserters able to grab 2 items at the same time, which is very powerful technology. Also, let's research the modules, especially the productivity and speed modules. In the meantime, our ingredients for the refinery should be ready. I also gonna make some storage tanks, and let's see. The chemical plants, refineries, undergrounds, and normal belts. Yeah, we have everything. When it comes to building refinery, I have the whole dedicated tutorial about it. So here we're gonna build it kind of quickly. Let's start by making the refinery and setting the recipe. Right now we have only basic oil processing, but we'll be ready to change it into advanced oil processing, which is this one, which require water and crude oil to produce 3 different liquids. For now, we have a simplified version. I'm gonna make 1 tile of spacing, because it will be easier later on. This amount of refineries is overkill, but I just wanted to use all of them. And the refineries are working. Now let's make some storage, and we are making oil. Okay, since this is inefficient recipe, I gonna make storage a little bit smaller, like 1 tank will be enough. So with petrol running, we have to use it for something. Let's look into Factoriopedia. What can we do with the petrol? I gonna hold Alt and left click. Here are all of the recipes we can do with petrol. We can either make plastic or sulfur. Plastic is used to make the red circuits, so we definitely need that. And sulfuric acid is used to make the blue science, which we also need. But let's start from the plastic production, because we already have the production. I'm gonna make one chemical plant and look at the crafting speed. It's making 2 bars per second. That means when I build 6 of those chemical plants, they are making 12 plastic bars per second. And one belt can hold 15 items per second. That means I have to split the output 2 sides of the belt. So let's do it. Or you know what? We're gonna worry about it later, so we'll see why it's a problem. For now, let's just make it work. So the recipe requires petroleum gas and the coal. So let's bring all of that. We have coal somewhere on the main bus. Let me just find it. So we have coal at the very bottom. So let's just connect it. So the coal is connected. I also have to finish this belt, but for now it's fine. Okay, it's not fine because I want to show you the output. So let's connect the belt. Since we are waiting for coal to arrive, we can also start making the sulfur. So let's make some sulfur production. Maybe here. Sulfur is very quick to craft. It's making 2 per second. So let's make only 4 of those. But there is a problem with the connection, because right now it's kind of hard to do it because those pipes will mix. That's why I'm gonna press V and voila. Now I can easily build it, because in Factorio 2.0 you can rotate the inputs with the V button. Whatever you build, try to make it tileable. Like this design, I can just copy it and paste it multiple times, and it just works. So your every single design should be tailable, because it's just easier to do later, especially the space age, because when you go to any new planet you need the designs from Nauvis. So for example, if you want to make a smelting column on Gleba, you can just do this and you're ready. You can just copy the design and paste it on Gleba without any readjustment, if it's a good tileable design. If you are building spaghetti, like for example I'm building here, it's very hard to copy and paste it. So good designs will pay off later. Since this design is good, let's just build it. And now the problem is it's missing water. So let's connect it. The closest water is on the right. So let's spaghetti it somehow. And we have water. Now we also need the petroleum, so let's connect it. And we are making sulfur. Let's put it on the bus. Sulfur is on the very bottom. Yes it is. And from here it's going to the right. Now we can start to worry about the plastic production. I've built this belt wrong. And if we just do this, it's easy to see that not all of the chemical plants are working. To fix it, we're gonna use the splitter, and 3.5 chemical plants are working. That means we have to use these chemical plants kind of twice. There are multiple solutions how we can go with it, and I'm gonna go with the simplest one. So let's just make the splitter, go in the middle, input priority from this belt, and output to this one. Let's do the same here, and I'm gonna copy this design and paste it on another side and do the same. This way we should have the full belt in the middle and some not very full belts on the bottom. That's the plan, but will it work? I don't know. It might be, but I don't care. We just need one belt, so this is overkill for our needs, but it can stay like that. There is also more space if you want to expand it to the right or to the left, but for now this is enough. So for now we just have to go for the blue science, but to do it we need the engine units, because we already have the sulfur and advanced circuits. Now let's see if we are making the advanced circuits. Yes, it seems it's working. We should produce 6 6 times 0.12. So this simple math means that we are producing 0.72 red circuits per second. That's not much, but it's fine. When we unlock the bots, they just gonna expand it. Also, we have problem with copper. Ah yeah, because we are not using this whole main bus of copper. So I'm gonna build the balancer here. The balancer will be 4 to 4. If you want to grab this book with the balancers, just watch my video with the smelting and mining. Of course, in the description. The problem with this design is we have only one belt of input and we are spreading it to 4 belts. So it looks like we have way more copper than we actually have. Because at some point this will stop and it will look like we have a lot of copper. But reality is, no, it's a lie. But I just want to use the bottom belt. This is why I'm gonna build this balancer here. So we have green circuits, we have red circuits, we have sulfur. So now let's build the blue science production. Let's prepare the terrain. And let's start by some designing. I'm gonna go to the map view and I want to produce the chemical science pack, which require the engine unit, and the engine unit require gears and pipes. However, it requires 2 times more pipes than gears, so 2 pipes and 1 gears. Let's see. This will make me 3 pipes per second. This is gonna make me 1.5 gear per second. But since we are using 2 times more pipes, it's fine. That means this is enough to supply 20 assembling machines making the engine units. This is making 0.07 per second. This is requiring 0.06. So we can kind of feed it directly, just like this, because the ratio is almost 1 to 1. We can make 20, so let's just do it like that. Okay, for now let's go with 10 and we can expand later. Or let's build it here-ish and let's change the design a little bit. This requires just iron and we're gonna just provide it with iron. With that we can build the production. However, we cannot just put belt like this because everything will be on one side. That's why we have to connect it like that. And on this belt we'll have pipes and gears, so it will be easy to grab with the long inserters. And on this belt we'll get some steel. And we are producing a lot of engine units, but we want to produce the chemical science pack. That's why we want to go like this for the direct feeding. So now the engines will go directly to the assembling machine, but we also want to put sulfur and advanced circuits. So we're gonna put the belt here, make another long inserter, and on this belt we're gonna put sulfur and advanced circuits. We should get it from the bus, but since we are close by, I just gonna do this. It's simpler. Here, let's bring the sulfur. So sulfur is going like that. And sulfur is also connected. I just need to change the belt. And with that, we should start producing the blue science. We also need the output. And since it will be easier to build, I'm gonna use the long inserters. You can use the short one, but it doesn't matter. It's just quicker to build because I can just do this, and now we can just press left mouse button and drag it from left to right, so it's very quick to build by hand. And with that we are producing the blue science. Now we have to connect this blue science with this lab. I like to leave enough space between my builds and the main bus because now I can do some spaghetti stuff with it. So this is going like this. And here I want to do the same with another science packs. So to buffer those, I'm gonna connect again with the circuit logic. And let's change the filter to blue science packs. Let's set the limit. Okay, I think we can increase it to 1000. Let's make 1000 everywhere. So can we research something? We can start researching with the blue science. So advanced oil processing will be useful, lubricant, electric engine, robotics, and with robotics we can make the construction robots, which are very powerful, and then we can go for the rocket. To make rocket we need low density structures, processing unit, and furnaces for some reason, but yeah, let's wait for the blue science. Oh, it's already here. And we want to put it to the labs. So let's spaghetti up it to another belt. And let's use the long inserters. And now we are inputting both red science, green science, blue science, and we have slot for another science. If we want to put even more, we can just build it like that and bring another belt of different science packs. So we're gonna input 6 different science packs. After that, you have to go more creative with your designs. Let's look at the production. Let's look for the science. And we are making 1 science pack per second for red and green. And we are making only 8 per minute with the chemical science packs, which is very lame. I wonder what is the reason for that, but I think it's red circuits. Ah yeah, we don't have the radar. Remember to place the radars. Like expected, the red circuits are the problem, and the reason for that, the build is simply too small. Let's expand it before we get to bots. This should help with our production. Or maybe now the bottleneck is the green circuits? No, we are buffering the green circuits, so they should be fine. So we are buffering the stuff here. We're gonna use it for the roboports, so it's good to have a little buffer for it. At some point we're gonna double the production, so let's just copy and paste it, and when we get to bots, they simply gonna build it. For now, we don't care about it, because the red circuit is the bottleneck. Now, when you look at the research tree, we are slacking with the research. However, we don't care about it, and we can build the technology which we haven't unlocked yet, like we did with the red circuits. So I'm gonna prepare for the bots build. Where do I want to build the bots? I can either build it here, but then I will run out of space for the smelters, or I can build it here. Yeah, on the left it seems like a better way of doing it. So to make bots, we need, of course, the batteries. The batteries are the main ingredient for the flying robot frames. Flying robot frames also require steel, which we have on the bus, electronic circuits, which we have on the bus, and electric engine units, which we have to make. To make those, we need normal engine units and the lubricant, which we are still researching. Okay, it will be hard to visualize, so we're gonna build bots in a second. For now, we can start focusing on the advanced oil processing, because yeah, we also need that. This design is very inefficient because it's making only the petroleum gas. It's taking 100 oil to make 45 petroleum gas. If we go with advanced oil processing, which we're gonna research in a second, it's gonna produce more petroleum, but also gonna make light oil and heavy oil. And the cost will increase by the water, which is basically free. So let's prepare our design for the change. There's way too many refineries, so I'm just gonna cut them, and I'm gonna build it when I get to bots. So what we want to do? We want to make input for the water and oil on the top, and on the bottom we want to make output for the petroleum, light oil and heavy oil. Since pipes cannot mix, or they can mix but they shouldn't, we want to separate them to something like this. I'm gonna copy and paste the design so it will be easier to build. Let's just build it. If you by mistake mix the pipes and you want to clear it, you can just open the pipe and clear it with the flash button. We also have researched the technology, so we can just change it to advanced oil processing, and now we can see what we was working about. Different outputs for different colors. The reason why it's not working yet, because we haven't connected the water. Now everything is connected, however there will be a problem soon with the refineries, because there is no way to consume the heavy oil and light oil, and we're just getting more and more into the pipes. And when we run out of the storage, so I'm just gonna disconnect it for now, it's gonna back up in the refinery, and when it will be too much, it's just gonna stop crafting, and we're not gonna get any more petroleum until we get rid of the light oil. That's why we have to make cracking. Cracking is very simple. It's just taking one liquid, like heavy oil, and with the help of water, it's turning it into light oil. We can do the same with the light oil and turn it into petroleum. We cannot turn petroleum into any other liquid. You just have to consume petroleum into making sulfur or plastic bars. However, it's not a problem, because we need a lot of plastic bars and sulfur. So we need to set up this cracking. So let's make a simple design. And this is our design for cracking. I also need to supply it with power, but it's a very tailable and very nice design, because you can just copy it, paste it. Because you can just copy it, paste. you can just copy it, paste it, and use it how many times you like. Very nice and very tailable design. We also have to do the same with the other liquid, so let's build it here. We of course have to change the recipe for the light oil, but beside that it's the same. We can just copy it and paste it. When we get to bots, we can automate this process, but for now let's just build few chemical plants to make it running. If you want to get more in-depth tutorial for the oil processing and the refineries, I have the whole video about it. It's for older version of Factorio, but it's still a very good video and everything from that video just works. I have to connect water, and the closest water is here-ish, I think. With water connected, I also have to connect other liquids. And I have to connect everything with the refinery. To do so, I'm gonna make some storage tanks. This one will be for heavy oil. And this one will be for light oil. So now we can go with some circuit logic. I want to go with this cracking only when I have too much heavy oil. So let's connect this pump with the circuit cable, Alt-G for the circuit cable, or Alt-R for the red color, it's up to you. It's gonna read the state of this storage tank. And I want this pump to only work when heavy oil is more than 10,000. Otherwise, this pump just not gonna work. I want to set up the same logic for the light oil, so let's copy this pump. Let's connect it to the tank, and instead of going with heavy oil, we're gonna go with light oil. And this pump only gonna work if there is more than 10,000 light oil. We also need the output, so this light oil will go to the tanks, and this petroleum will go to the petroleum, which we can just connect here, I think. And now the cracking is working, and that's awesome. When we look at the research, we are slowly making the blue science, and we are using this blue science to make the construction robots in a second. So let's prepare for that. I'm gonna make the production of batteries, maybe here. Yeah, we are getting so close. Okay, let's see how many smelting columns we still can build here. Okay, 1 and 2. Okay, so there is still some space here which we can use, so let's go for that. So here will be the production of batteries. Battery require iron and copper plate, and we are making 0.25 per second. That means we need quite a lot of those machines. We need to connect everything. We just need to bring the iron plates and copper plates here, so let's drag this belt. Now we have a belt of copper and iron, but we also want to make the sulfuric acid, so I'm gonna do it here-ish. And with this simple setup, we are making the sulfuric acid, which we're gonna use for the batteries. We just need to transport it up. With that, we are making the batteries, which we can put on the main bus. So I left this belt empty, but now we can take it for the batteries. And this one can be for plastic, so everything has its order. And with the batteries running, we want to go for the construction bots. To make the construction bots, we need flying robot frames. To do so, we need the electric engine units, which means we need lubricant. Lubricant is extremely easy to craft because it's simply the chemical plant converting it into lubricant. Just let's connect the pipes. And with that, we are making the lubricant. Now we're gonna use this lubricant to make the production of electric engine units. So we need to bring it down. And here we can start the production, because we already have everything necessary for the engine units. So I just gonna copy it like that. And this will craft the electric engine units, just like that. Let's copy and paste it. Our lubricant needs to be connected, but it's simple because it's already close by. And the problem is, this is not enough to supply all of this. I mean, right now it is enough, but we want to expand. That means we have to make it bigger. Now it's 2 times bigger, and it should be enough for our needs. To craft electric engine units, we also need the electronic circuits, which we can just take from the main bus And with electric engine units, we want to stack those because we're gonna use it to make a rocket. So let's make a small buffer and let's see if it's working. Yes, it's working. But we also want to use those to make the flying robot frames. They will be useful to make utility science packs and of course robots. But since we want robots, let's make it. Okay, since we also need the electronic circuits, we're gonna use half of this belt to fit the electronic circuits. So here I'm gonna set up a filter to only grab the electric engine units, and here I'm gonna do something like that. This way we'll get both ingredients of this belt. We also need steel and batteries, but we have both of the main bus, so it's simple to do. And with this simple setup, we are producing the flying robot frame. We just need to expand it quite a lot. Let's also look at the ratio. This is making 0.07 per second. This is consuming 0.03. That means we can make 2 times more assembling machines making the robot frames than we are using to make the electric engine units. So let's just copy and paste it like that. And also there is a problem with our setup. Yeah, that means we're just not gonna build it that big. Also, when I look at the buildings, I have a problem with something yellow. Electricity. Our current setup for electricity is not enough for our base and we are struggling. Let's see. Yeah, we definitely have to expand. We have coal. Okay, we are running low on coal, but we have to expand. So let's make 10 more boilers and 20 more steam engines, and we're gonna expand power soon. And we can buffer the flying robot frames. We're gonna use it for the bots in a second, but bots consume a lot of electricity, so we definitely have to expand. In the meantime, I also gonna grab some ingredient and start making the roboports, because we need to have a nice coverage for our base. Since we're gonna get bots soon, I just gonna build a roboport here, and the bots gonna expand power for us. Let's see. We are in the green, but yeah, we are very barely in the green. Especially when you start going with the bots, that's gonna be not enough. When you are building the roboports, you have to connect the orange area together, because it will make 2 roboports in the same network. But if you want more information about the robots and all of their logic, I have a dedicated video about it. I'm gonna remove this, because I don't want bots to waste the energy building it. So let's just deconstruct it and let's connect everything with the robot network. We especially want roboport here because we want to automate the production of construction bots. So this is crafting the construction bots. We want to input the green circuits and we want to input the flying robot frames. Now we want the inserter inputting directly to the roboport. This way we have the robots working. Since we don't have a lot of robots working, I want to remove any extra stuff that we don't need. So for example, those belts, there is no need for those. When there will be need for this, I just gonna build it. But right now we want to save the bots for more important tasks. And the bots are flying. But there will be the problem, because at some point we're gonna have a lot of bots. Way too much. That's why we're gonna limit it with the circuit logic. Alt G to grab the cable. Let's connect the inserter. And we want to read the robot statistic. Now we can see that the logic for the available construction robots is Z. And we have 100 available robots. So we want to set up the logic if Z is less than, let's say 50. If you have less than 50 working robots in the network, then we're gonna input more. You can change this number to, I don't know, 300, 400. I usually keep it at 300, but since this is a tutorial, I want to keep it low. Like 50 is fine. Now there is a problem. When you look at the map, open the worker robots and zoom in here, the robots are stuck. They are stuck because alerts, not enough logistic network storage space available. See the map for details. Yeah, and there are the bots which are simply stuck because they don't have the space where can they output the items, and they are stuck with the wood. However, we want to use it to make power poles. This is why I gonna go here and make the production of power poles. So I'm gonna make a storage chest, and let's make a lot of passive providers because we need those. And this storage chest will be set to logistic filter to only accept wood. This way, all of the wood from the whole system will be put to this storage chest, and we're gonna use it to make the power poles. Passive provider will be the access chest for construction robots. So if we put electric poles to this chest, bots will be able to use it. Very simple and very efficient. However, the chests are blinking because they are not in the logistic network. Let's change that. Now they are, and the bots can output the wood. Yeah, they are going. Since we also want to use bots for building, we want to change the chest in the mall to the passive providers. This way they will become accessible for the construction bots. In cases like this, when we want to also output the items, I'm gonna build the storage chest and set the filter to only accept the assembling machines. And when I change the limit, this machine will always work. That's why I want to change the circuit logic. This will read the content from it, and I want this inserter to only work when there is less than 50 assembling machines. So this chest will be always empty for the assembling machines from the network. So when I use bots to upgrade, for example, upgrade this, they gonna deconstruct this assembling machine, place assembling machine tier 2 and take it to this chest. Very simple, very good, very efficient. Let's just cover it with the logistic coverage, and let's put more of the passive providers. Okay, now everything seems to work. Let's look at the bots. Yeah, they are nicely expanding the production of blue science production and of the red circuits. The research is done, so let's see what do we want to do. We of course want to increase the worker robot speed because it's very cheap and it will increase the speed by a lot. We also want to do with worker robot speed too, and let's go for the rocket silo. To research it, we need logistic bots, rocket fuel and advanced material processing. Then we can go for the rocket silo. Very simple, very good. So the bots are working and they consume a lot of electricity. When we go to the graph, we can see that roboport is now consuming up to 10 megawatts, which is like 1/4 of our whole consumption. With robots running, we have a problem with lack of copper. Let's see. Yeah, we have only one smelting array for the copper, so we're gonna duplicate it and we're gonna use bots to build it. Okay, maybe I'm gonna walk here so it will be easier to build. And with that we have 63 drills for the copper, so we can just balance it somehow. So this should be fine, I think. I haven't give my bots enough items. They are missing the stone furnaces, so I just gonna give them like this. Take the stone furnaces, take some undergrounds. Yeah. Also we are lacking power poles. That means we have to remove some trees with the bots. So let's clear this up and maybe let's clear this area because we're gonna use it to make the rocket. And let's connect the output of copper to the main bus. I'm gonna connect it in the beginning of the bus so it will get balanced. Yeah, this should be fine. So everything here is connected and we are starting to have a problem with coal, it seems. Yeah, the coal, it seems to be a problem. Okay, so there is still the coal problem. Do we have any coal? Let's look for it. Coal. There is coal. There is coal. Yeah, this seems problematic. So we can either use this coal and connect it somehow or make the solid fuel. I think solid fuel will be better solution. So let's go for it. Our setup for solid fuel will be very simple. We're gonna use the light oil because it's the best for making the solid fuel. So since we have bots, we can just copy and paste it multiple times. We of course have to be careful, but beside that, it should be fine. Now let's just connect the pipes. And we have the solid fuel. Now let's just connect everything. I of course ran out of belts. But here we also need to do something with the coal. Yeah, we're gonna switch. So from now we're gonna use mainly solid fuel. Is it working? Of course. The design is off, but it should start working soon-ish. Yeah, there is the solid fuel going. However, it will be a problem because here we have the belt of coal and we want to keep it as a belt of coal. That means we want to do some extra spaghetti. And now everything should work. Also, I think I removed the radar. So let's build it back. So now we should have both coal and solid fuel. Let's change this priority. And now this should fix the problem with coal, because we are producing a lot of solid fuel. Yeah, this build is way too big, but that's not a problem. Also, we have to make some storage chests, because our bots are getting stuck. I'm gonna make the storage near the mall, because I think it's a good spot for it. So now bots can leave some trash here. For example, they are leaving here some rocks and some stone. Yeah, just some trash. Yeah, it should be done soonish. However, we also want to automate the production of boilers and steam engines. So let's do this into the mall. So you are making steam engines. And to make boilers is not that simple, because we need stone furnaces. But for now, we're just gonna do some temporary design. So this way we're gonna recycle the stone, and we're also gonna recycle the stone furnaces to make the boilers. And it seems to work. Now let's harvest some more rocks. I don't see any rocks, so we're gonna do the filter. I'm gonna open my blueprint library, press Alt D to get the deconstruction planner, right click it and mark only trees and rocks. Now I can just do this and look for all of the rocks. There are some rocks. Okay, let's see. Nope, no rocks, no rocks. Oh, there is a rock. Nope, just the trees. So it's gonna make a few furnaces. Do I have more? No, but I think there is more furnaces. Yes. So let's just deconstruct this chest. So let's limit it to 1 stack, because boilers can stack to 50 and 50 is more than we need. And there are the furnaces. Yeah, and our power should get expanded. Or is it already expanded? Yeah, it's already expanded. If you want to expand it even more, we can just copy it, paste it, place a splitter, make another roboport, maybe build another one here, connect water. Let's make sure that the electricity is connected, and bots just gonna build everything on their own. Let's look at the alerts. We are missing pumps and roboports. I'm gonna put the roboport to my trash slot, and I'm gonna craft few pumps for the bots to use. And soonish the bots gonna build the new power source. Yeah, they are working very nice. So with the bots running, we can expand. For example, we can connect this production of red circuits on the left. So let's do it. And we also want to change this design. Because now we can use it also on another side. With the previous design it was not possible, because we are using only half of the belt. Now we are using full belt of the green circuits and full belt of the plastic. So our production of red circuits should skyrocket. That's the plan, at least. And we are researching the rocket, so we should kind of prepare for it, right? To make the rocket silo, we need a lot of steel. We have steel. Processing units, we don't have processing units. Electric engine units, we should have those. Yes, we have 300. We also need pipes. We have pipes and we need concrete. So let's make the concrete production. Since we unlock the bots, we're not gonna move anymore. We're just gonna open the map view, go here and make the production. Okay, let's see. We want to make concrete. Concrete is this. It requires iron ore and stone bricks, also some water. So it would be nice if we build it here-ish, or like that. So we're gonna bring the bricks here, and we're gonna input the ore and the bricks. We also need water, so let's connect water. Water, we need to bring it from here. Okay, it requires some spaghetti, but no worry, I am the expert at it. This is connected. We also need the output, so let's output it like that. Bring the belt, and let's make some simple buffer. And this should provide us with enough concrete to make the rocket silo. So another ingredient for rocket silo is the processing unit. So we need to make the production of those. We can do it here. Yeah, there is some space for it. Also, since we have a lot of bots in the system, we can expand the main bus with the bots. And at some points, bots gonna build it, I guess. Is it in the network? Yes, it is in the network. We can even increase the network a little bit. And the bots also gonna expand the cracking, which is also good. And the bots should work. Now, we want to make the processing units. So let's look into the Factoriopedia. Processing unit require a lot of electric circuits, red circuits, and sulfuric acid. But the crafting time is very long, so let's just build it like that. Set up the recipe. Let's make it on the left. When we are copying and pasting the recipe, it's a problem because it do not copy the rotation of the fluid. This is why it's better to copy it with Ctrl+C and paste it like that. So on the right, we'll get the input. And on the left, we'll get the output. I'm running low on resources, so I'm just gonna use bots to build the stuff for me. And the production is built. I'm gonna duplicate it, build it on the other side. Let's make it like this. And we of course need to connect the resources like sulfuric acid, which is somewhere in the refinery. I was using it for the batteries, so let's go to the right. And here is the sulfuric acid connected. And now I also need to connect the circuits. The problem is, this is consuming 1.5 green circuit per second. So, the whole belt of green circuit will supply 10 assembling machines, which means only this side, with the whole belt. But I'm gonna use only half of the belt. So, only half of this will work. But we're gonna fix it soon-ish. Kind of. Let's make the buffer. So, let's bring the circuits. Also, let's bring those circuits. And let's mix it like this, like nothing happened. And let's also mix it like that, like nothing happened, because why not? Okay, there is some problem with the bots, or they don't want to build the pipes. Oh, I don't have the pipes. So I'm gonna use those pipes. And let's also upgrade this. Yeah, I'm just lacking the pipes. And let's say if it's working. Yes, it's working. But of course, like expected, I'm lacking the green circuits. And to fix that, I'm gonna pretend that I have this belt of green circuits, and I'm just gonna pretend that I'm using it. So for now I'm gonna do this, which literally do nothing, but looks like I have more green circuits. And I'm gonna supply those assembling machines with additional green circuits. So I can either do it with the long inserters, doing it like that, or I can do some spaghetti which will fit this line with additional green circuits. Whatever you like, it depends on your situation, but I think long inserters are better in our case, because we need quite a lot of green circuits. So let's change our design to this. And I'm using the force blueprint by holding Ctrl and Shift. It's deconstructing anything which is on the way. So this power pole, when I use force blueprint, will get deconstructed, and I will build the inserter instead. So bots should build it at some point, and we are slowly making the processing units. The problem is we are making this very, very slow. Let's look. The production of green circuits is kind of bottlenecking, and also this buffer is inefficient because I was lacking space, so let's upgrade it. Now our buffer is working, however the production is still pretty low, so let's me duplicate this and build it here. However, it's not gonna increase the production because something different is a bottleneck. And it's easy to spot that it's iron. Why the iron is a bottleneck? Let's see. So we have iron here, we have iron here. We are using it for the research. We are using it here. It's going to the mall. and in mole we are consuming it to make more pipes. It simply look like we are not making enough iron. To fix this problem, you have to look on the map for iron. We have iron here, and we simply have to build the drills and bring the iron to the base and smelt it. Because this iron is not enough. Right now, when I deconstruct those empty drills, we have just 68 drills, which is way not enough for our needs, because we have 3 smelting arrays and they need at least 90 drills. So yeah, that's a problem. Our base is working, but it's working slowly. However, we are progressing for the rocket silo, and in around 6.5 minutes we'll get it researched. So let's see if we have the ingredients. Steel plates, fine. Electric engine units, fine. Pipes, fine. Processing units, crafting those. And the concrete is fine. Yeah, we already have more than 1000, so we don't need this. Yeah, it will be fine. Also, we are lacking iron, so yeah, let's just disconnect it. But making the rocket silo is not enough. We also need to make the rocket fuel and low density structures. So to make low density structures, we need a lot of copper, steel and plastic. So let's prepare for it. Let's make the design. So belt for copper, belt for plastic and steel, assembling machine, input, output, a recipe and output belt. Now I can rotate it. I don't need this power pole, and I can simply copy and paste it multiple times for the robots to build it. The problem is I don't have enough resources to supply this big production, but I can at least dream about it, right? So let's connect the copper. So here will be the copper and the steel and plastic. So it will be something like this. Now I just need to connect the resources. So here is the copper, which is definitely not enough, and plastic is going from the top. And also steel is here. So after bots connect everything, we'll start producing the low density structures. We of course want to buffer those because we want to make the rocket. They stack to 50 in this version. Yes they do. So let's limit it to 200, I think. Yeah, it should be enough. So this is on the way. This is slowly on the way. And now we can look for the bottlenecks. And definitely the bottleneck is the production of green circuits. Luckily, we have some in the buffer, which I am happy about building this buffer. Also here, I bring some advanced circuits for handcrafting. I think I don't need it anymore, so I just gonna do this, and we're gonna use this buffer. So let's look at the iron production. We can minimize the production of steel, because we have quite a lot in the buffers. So let's just limit the buffers to this, and let's use the splitter to bring more iron to the main bus. Okay, let's build some balancers. So it's gonna balance the iron to have equal amount on every single belt, and this should help a little bit with our iron problem. To make the rocket silo, it's also good to fill it with the productivity modules. So I'm gonna make 4 for the rocket, and since the rocket is almost researched, I can start working for the rocket silo. 1000 concrete, 1000 steel, 200 of electric engine units, and 200 of processing units, which we don't have. So while waiting for it, we're gonna make the rocket fuel. I'm gonna open the map view and let's design some nice stuff for it. So we're gonna build it here-ish. The ratio for it is very simple. I'm gonna build it outside the robot area, so I can design in peace. So here we're gonna make the solid fuel from the light oil. It's making 1 per second. We want to put it directly into production of rocket fuel, which require half of the solid fuel per second. That means we need 2 assembling machines per 1 chemical plant. Let's directly connect it and let's put some power. Now we can just copy and paste it multiple times because it's a tileable design. We also need the output. And let's do the same on the second side, like this. Also electricity for the output. And we have a nice tileable design for the rocket fuel. Where we want to build it? Like here I want to leave some space for the cracking. So maybe here would be a nice spot. Or there. Okay, I'm gonna build it here. Yeah, but we need to expand the roboport coverage, and let's connect all of the pipes. When you're doing any rocket parts, it's good to buffer it. So I'm just gonna copy this design because it's good and working one. Paste it here, and we have the buffer. I'm gonna decrease it to only a few stacks. This should be fine. We don't have the chest in the network and the roboport, so let's put it. And now the bots should be able to build the rocket fuel production, of course, the electricity. And let's connect the fluids. Now they should be nicely connected and they should slowly stockpile. We also have enough processing units to make the rocket silo, so let's build one. When you are crafting the rocket silo, it's good to don't craft it in hand. Instead, it's good to research the quality and use the quality modules. You will have a small chance to make a better quality rocket silo, which has increased crafting speed. However, I haven't researched it, so I'm just gonna craft it by hand. Let's see how we are on the resources. Okay, we have 200 of low density units. I think we need 100 for the rocket launch, or we need 50? Yeah, I'm not sure. The rockets are way cheaper in this version, but we have everything. We just have to build it. So there will be the rocket silo, or let's make it here. Let's put the productivity modules. Let's put the chests, input and input. And now let's connect everything. It's also nice to have the buffer for it. So let's make the buffer here. But honestly, I just want to make one rocket, so I'm not gonna make this buffer. Just keep in mind, it's good to have one. It's also good to have like a proper buffer for the blue circuits. So I'm gonna build it here and let's connect those. Also, I should put the blue circuits on the main bus, like here. But yeah, I don't care about it. I just want to send the rocket. So we also need to connect the rocket fuel from here. Of course, we have to respect the main bus. So I'm gonna do this and now. So I'm gonna do this and now we have nice undergrounds and bots know what to do. I hate how those chests are blinking, so I'm gonna make another roboport to have it in the roboport area. It's also useful to have the rocket silo in the roboports area, because the rocket silo gonna request logistic requests. And it has to be in the network. So the rocket is slowly working, but to launch it, we also need to have the cargo landing pad. For it, we need concrete. When it comes to building the cargo landing pad, it's good to build it somewhere close to the labs. So I'm gonna build it here, and let's also expand the labs because we have bots and it's simple. Here we're gonna request the stuff from the rocket, so we can just come here and okay, we cannot just request the science packs because we don't have those research yet, but we just wait for it. And here we are making the rocket slowly but surely, and while waiting for it, I can tell you what to do now. We of course want to output the science, because after we launch the rocket, we'll unlock the space science packs. And we want to take the space science packs with the Q button. Now we have it in the hand, and we can put the filter inside the inserter. So when we get the technology for it, it will automatically work. Let's also request 2000, and when we get the science packs, they gonna work just automatically. Let's also connect it here, and we'll go like this. Let's use the bots. I'm missing steel for the roboports, so let's make one. I think in this version we have to make the space platform starter pack. Let me see. Yes, we have to do it. And for that we need a lot of space platform foundations, so let's start crafting those. However, it's gonna take forever to craft, so instead I'm gonna automate it in the mall, because this is what the mall is supposed to do. So let's go with you. Space platform, let's make a few. Input for the steel, and this also need the copper cables, 1.5 per second, and we are making 3 per second, so the ratio is like this. Let's also limit the chest to 1 stack. And we need to bring some copper. So we're gonna do it differently. We're gonna bring them like that to have some different. And we should start making the space platform foundations. Okay, they just require some copper cable to start the production, and they gonna work soon-ish. The rocket is already ready. Okay, also the second rocket is ready, so we can launch two at the same time. But we have to launch something with it. So space platform starter pack require a lot more foundations. Yeah, let's also handcraft some. Because we are waiting for the foundation, let's see what you can do to improve this base. Of course, the resources are getting low, and those belts should be more full. Like, here is the problem. Not enough copper, so we are not making enough of the circuits. The buffer is also getting low. That's why you should bring this iron to the base, either with the trains or with the belts. But on this distance, it's way better to use trains, because you're gonna use a lot of belts to bring it back. Also, this copper, you should take it back to the base and feed it to the smelters. However, you should upgrade the smelters from stone furnaces to steel furnaces, because they are 2 times faster. And when you do this, you also should upgrade the belts to red ones, because the red belts are 2 times faster. So with 2 times faster furnaces, you should use 2 times faster belts, and your production should improve 2 times. Simple like that. But for now, let's take the foundations, and we have enough foundations to make space platform starter pack, so let's make one. It's taking forever to make because it's 1 minute crafting time, but let's go to the rocket silo because we're gonna use it in a second, and let's go here. We want to build a new space platform. However, according to the toolbar, we cannot do it because we first need to put the space platform inside, but we can go to the map view and add the space platform from here. So let's make it nicely. Like subscribe to Trupen, let's create one, and now the space platform hasn't been built yet. A rocket must deliver a space platform starter pack first. When we're gonna put it inside, the rocket is launching automatically to start a new space platform. And new platform got built. We also got a lot of achievements. We created a space platform, so let's press tab and go to subscribe to Trupen. This is the space platform. Now, you have to make the space science pack in the space. So we need to make the asteroid collectors. To do so, you have to craft it in the base, because you just unlocked the crafting recipe for it. Yeah, you just have to craft it. You also have to make the crashers, and you simply need to design the ship. This is my proof of concept ship. It's harvesting the asteroids, it's storing them inside the space hub, then they are getting crushed and converted into the iron plates, and then I'm gonna use the iron plates to make the science bags, but I'm gonna leave the fun of making the space platform for yourself. Now you have access to the DLC and you can just explore new planets. You can go to Gleba, you can explore Fulgora, or go for Vulcanus. Everything is up to you. But if something was not clear for you and you want more explanation about oil, about smelting, main bus, production or anything, I have tons of tutorials on my channel. Just look for those, and yeah, thank you my members for supporting me, you for watching, and see you next time. Bye!